Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday, Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. Grab a cold one. It's Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
Seems like it's pretty rare that it's one of us has a can versus the other with
Yeah.
a bottle. So
And I was also over here super nervous because of the nitro.
it is the nitro. It is Brewsday Tuesday with the nitro beer from the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg. Like I mentioned, teased last week, I did go out there. I guess it's been a couple weeks now, but no shortage of pumpkin beers. Tis the season. So I went ahead and got a vast variety from down there at the cellar, and I just popped from Schlafly their pumpkin ale, which, as you would expect, it's an ale brewed with pumpkin and with spices added. This is obviously their 2023. It's got it stapled right there. What I didn't realize until I just popped it is that this is 8%. I might have saved this for the second round if I had noticed it was a bigger ABV like that. And it says right here on the side, Schlafly Pumpkin Ale blends the spices of the harvest with full-bodied sweetness for a beer that tastes like
Pumpkin?
Pumpkin pie.
Oh.
Here's to pumpkin season. So yeah, like I mentioned, 8%. That's a bit more than I was expecting. So that's a pleasant surprise.
I've got the pumpkin spice latte from Left Hand Brewing. It's a nitro. It's pumpkin ale with spices and coffee added. Because it's a nitro, this may look like a pint can, but you're only getting 13.65 ounces, which is 404 milliliters. And they gave you the ingredients, but not the recipe. Rocky Mountain water, malted barley, rolled oats, lactose, coffee, spices, which are cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, hops, yeast, and of course, pumpkin. And 7%. So we'll see. I like that they're using pumpkin as opposed to a lot of places that use squash or pumpkin flavoring.
Okay. So like we've learned, because I feel like Huck and I, we're keeping the tradition alive of always having multiple pumpkin beers whenever it comes around. And that's one of the things he always says is none of them actually use pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's all I think it's mostly, what is it? Is it squash or is it whatever the pumpkin pie filling or it's not even real
I think it's like squash and yams.
Squash and yams. Yes, yams. I think is the main thing that's used. Which don't get me wrong, I like a good yam.
Like pumpkin pie.
A yam is similar to a sweet potato, right? Aren't they pretty similar?
They are in texture and taste.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how they achieve theirs, but it's almost always never pumpkin. And from what I understand, it's because it's hard to get pumpkins USDA approved for human consumption.
So where are you with pumpkin beers? Because personally, like this one right here, first sip, awesome. You do taste, the sweetness of pumpkin pie. It is the fall. It tastes like fall, but I feel like I can't have a whole bunch of them, which is what we're about to do, of course. But
yeah, I like pumpkin in moderation. I feel like
exactly.
As a society, we overdo it.
A little bit goes a long way.
I think speaking of pumpkin spice latte, I think they started selling that back in August. And of course, they'll go all the way through like the end of December. And that's just too much pumpkin. Like, I can try and have I'll have pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. And then mentally, I'm done with it for a year. Now, I will sit there and eat a whole pumpkin pie in one sitting.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but
I can't remember exactly what the article said, but or the amp. I don't remember the numbers. I don't remember all the stuff, but I read an article recently and it basically said that I think that the pumpkin spice or the pumpkin spice fad has peaked because they were comparing this year's numbers to last year's numbers and there's much less, Starbucks options of different pumpkin, whatever. There's less this, I can't remember the numbers, but it's finally, I think, peaked, and now we're going to be going back to maybe some normalcy. We'll see.
I would be intrigued to know what, if anything, is rising. Speaking of Starbucks, because what a lot of people don't realize is they've got a delicious hazelnut latte. And hazelnut's another delicious fall flavor that doesn't get near enough love.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't step into
Also,
Starbucks, so I wouldn't know.
August is at least around here like one of the hottest months of the year, and
It doesn't feel right to
I
already
want
be.
pumpkin.
No, it's too soon. Way too soon.
And we do the same thing with Christmas. Like Halloween isn't even here yet, and the stores already are like
Mm-hmm.
putting all the Halloween stuff on clearance and going straight to Christmas. The hell with Thanksgiving.
Well, that works out pretty good if you're haven't bought any
Yeah.
Halloween stuff
Oh
yet.
no, it's perfect.
But nah, I went into the dollar store the other day, and I think I was there just the week before, and all the Halloween stuff were on the seasonal aisle. And I went in, I think earlier this week, and sure enough, it's all Christmas now.
You turn your head and it's gone. It's like, what are we doing?
Santa needs to stay in his lane.
So, yeah, I'm talking about a war on Christmas. I'm pissed off about the war on Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Year after year.
But I do like the early clearance. That definitely has saved me a lot.
That works pretty good. There's no diggity doubt about it. So the other thing, are you getting the latte with that? I mean, I gave you that one because I figured, you actually drink coffee. I am not in that boat.
So I'm gonna be really honest with you. I've had exactly one pumpkin spice latte in my life, and it didn't leave enough of an impact to
See if you can pick up those notes. But you've had a latte,
I was
right?
gonna say I've had a latte, and this, I mean, there's not a lot of lactose in here. They say it's in there, but I mean, it's pretty damn near transparent. It's tasty. I'm getting more of the spices than I am the pumpkin or anything else, though, which is fine. I mean, that's what you kind of are in it for anyway.
Yeah, you're talking about color and clarity. I mean, mine's much darker, a much richer color, and you do get the sweetness. I feel like we're already untapping it. Might as well. I mean, I don't know where you're at. I guess you might want to sip it a little bit more, which, by the way, that's how we like to rate our beers. The handy dandy Untapped app that I am DreZ Drinks on there. Big Nate Danger sitting across from me. It really does come in handy. I was tailgating. I guess it was not this past weekend, obviously, but the weekend before that. And a couple of different tailgates, I've come to find people that appreciate good craft beer. And this one guy was just giving me accolades because he's just so impressed with my numbers on Untapped. He's like, this guy's got, what are you up to now? I wasn't even sure. I pulled it out. I'm at like 6,200 unique beers on there or something. So it's a pretty sweet app. It's a great way to keep track of what you've had, where you've had it, what you thought of it, all that sort of good stuff. And he was talking about how he uses it more. I don't really use the social media aspect of it because there's a feed and you can look and see what people are drinking, where they're drinking it. I never do that, but he definitely does that. And he always says like, you guys go everywhere and drink everywhere. And, he's pretty impressed with all the different, not only stuff that we're drinking, but where we're drinking it and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah,
We like
so that's part
you
of
can throw the
that.
pictures up and have it try and be scenic and stuff, which is cool. But
It's cool. I think it attaches memories to it. I'm gonna go ahead and go first on this if you don't mind.
sure.
I've had a minute to think about it. I like cream ales, but there's not enough of them. This tastes like it would, if you were gonna make a pumpkin cream ale, this is what it would taste like. It's pretty damn delicious. And the fact that it's nitro as well, I think just lends to how smooth and crisp it is.
That is nice having the nitro. Can you feel it? Does it have the widget floating around? Is that what you call it? The widget?
I
A
couldn't
little
tell.
ball dealy?
I don't think so. I think they just pumped it full
They
of
don't
air.
have to have that anymore.
Yeah, so
It
they-
used to be every nitro can you'd get would have one of those floating in it, but I think the last few I have, they're not
Yeah, I
in
don't
there.
think-
So
I
they
don't-
must have figured something out.
It's damn good. It's a 5.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
What was the
I don't
ABV
even
on
like
that?
7.
7? All right, that's
Yeah, I
pretty
don't even
respectable.
love pumpkin beers. This is, I would hands down grab this every time if I was at a place that only had pumpkin beer.
So 7, that's respect. I don't know why. I guess I just thought that pumpkin beers were just pretty normal ABV-ish, but I mean, I have the 8 over there. You got a 7. I think one of the other ones is 7. Then again, I guess it is crafty. So I guess generally craft beers tend to have the higher ABV, but the high ABV certainly does help boost this one up in my book a little bit. As I mentioned, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the pumpkin beers, and there's so many to choose from. So you really got to try and set yours apart from some of the others. And what a lot of the good ones do that I think we might save for next week, which is actual Halloween, the pumpkin beers that I think will have a bit of a higher score from me is you bourbon barrel age it. I mean, let's be honest. That's if you're going to go pumpkin, you might as well go bourbon pumpkin, and that's going to taste even better in my book. That being said, this one is pretty good. It definitely has the sweetness. So if you're wanting one of the more sweeter ones, I think that the next round will be a little bit more baseline pumpkin and more just rather than the sweet aspect of it, like the latte and the pumpkin pie kind of deal. But still, the Schlafly's, like I said, 8% is pretty nice. It's sweet. Again, I wouldn't be grabbing, if I grabbed one of these at a tailgate is what I'm picturing, fall, football, all that stuff. I don't know if I'd go back for a second just because it is a lot. But it's good. It's good. I'm going to give it a 4 1/4. 4 1/4 on this.
Respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of actually, I'm really thrilled I got this one because I was kind of dreading pumpkin season.
Yeah. I mean, I feel do we not need to do this many pumpkin beers? I feel like it's what's the word? Obligatory. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit obligatory to go through the pumpkin beers and
Fan
see which ones you
service.
like and stuff. But we're doing our public service to drink all the different pumpkin beers to tell you which ones are the better ones to go for.
It's probably on clearance right now anyway.
I don't know if it's quite there. Yeah, I mean, not there. It wouldn't be there yet. Usually, there's no doubt there will be an abundance of pumpkin beers in the clearance sections at any craft beer store because they always get so many.
Yeah.
It gets saturated, and
Everyone
then
makes
next thing you know, they're well, I think it's time to move on to Christmas beers. I think these need to go on special.
Didn't Busch Light make one like a few years back?
It would not surprise me.
Like
we need to capitalize on this pumpkin craze.
guys, can you imagine the board meeting? I imagine they were all wearing like camo and like high vis hats. Like, my wife loves these pumpkin spice lattes. She needs to be drinking Busch pumpkin.
Let's make it happen, folks. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll play some pumpkins, and then we'll come back. It's Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.